It is Tuesday, which of course means it is time for me to answer the questions that you guys send in every single week. My name is BrendenPlayz. We are coming off Survivor Series. There's been plenty of big news to talk about in recent times, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. So our first question is from Mike1284. What did you think of Survivor Series? Now, before I get into this, I do want to apologize for missing out on last week's Let's Talk Tuesdays episode. I just didn't get around to doing it because WWE 2K15 just dropped the same day, so I do apologize for that. But what did I think about Survivor Series? Honestly, I thought the show was very mediocre. Now, let's take a look at the show from top to bottom. I'd give the show probably about a 4.5 out of 10, let's be honest. I saw some people giving it like an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I thought, how the hell can you possibly give this show that high of a rating? I mean, the pre-show, we had Fandango and Justin Gabriel. Now, that match would barely make it on the Superstars. Cesaro and Jack Swagger, that match may be passable for main event or SmackDown. We had the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, which I felt as though just never really, didn't have a very good pacing to it. Never just really didn't pick up. I mean, they tried to do some outside spots, and it was also stupid because they had El Torito just blatantly interfere. I guess it is Fatal 4-Way rules, so no DQ, but, you know, that's just dumb, but whatever. And, you know, we had a Divas 5-on-5 match, or 4-on-4, whatever the hell it was, which was just absolutely awful. That match was just fucking horrible. I was sitting there watching this match, and I honestly just wanted to turn it off and never come back and watch wrestling again. It was just dreadful. And, I mean, we had Nikki, who absolutely destroyed AJ Lee, squashed her for the championship, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm very happy to see Nikki with the championship, and really, how can I forget? The fucking Bunny and Adam Rose versus Slater and Titus O'Neil, and honestly, I didn't watch the match. I walked out of the room when I saw that coming on. I couldn't put myself through that. So, I'm probably missing some other dreadful matches, but from those matches alone, how the hell does that constitute a pay-per-view worthy match? I mean, none of those matches, it may be the Fatal 4-Way only, and the Divas title match, which only went for 30 seconds anyways, none of those matches really represent anything that's worthy of being on pay-per-view. Honestly, just awful. Awful. Then, just about when I was ready to turn the thing off, Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt appeared, and thank God they did, because I was just about ready. I was done. The show sucked up until that point, and I felt as though this match was good. It wasn't great, it was good. I thought it was one of the Bray Wyatt's better matches. I just didn't really like the finish to it, how they had the disqualification. I don't really like DQ finishes anyways, but they did set the match up towards TLC, and I think a gimmick match would be really, really good between these two. I think they could really put on a good match. I felt as though the match needed a gimmick anyways. I was kind of thinking, geez, this would be much better if it was a no-holds-barred match or something like that, and I'm glad they are doing the rematch, and it being TLC as well will be pretty fun to see, and I think those guys will beat each other up really good. So, looking forward to the rematch, and I did enjoy, I guess it's a bit of a teaser of what to expect at TLC, and I thought that match was pretty solid. And of course, we had the main event, which stole the show, which was the only real redeeming point of the show. If you look back in 5 years' time and you go, what should I watch on this pay-per-view? Watch 2014 Survivor Series. What do I take away from this pay-per-view? You'll only take away the main event and basically the return of Sting and the epic moment that Dolph Ziggler, the epic performance from Dolph Ziggler, who stole the show. Now, I'll break down the main event. We had Ryback, who, well, first of all, we had Mark Henry get his ass knocked out instantly from the Big Show, and you think about it, the storyline about the Big Show really made no sense, but we'll get into that in a moment. And this, if you guys have been following me on Twitter, I blew the fuck up when this happened. Ryback got eliminated first out of Team Cena, and I was absolutely pissed. I actually thought Ryback would be the final two with Cena, so I was actually kind of surprised how they eliminated everybody, and just Ryback getting eliminated first just kind of made the whole build up towards the match pointless, because you had, who's going to get Ryback, this guy who's been dominating, this biggest free agent, and he gets eliminated in the first 5 minutes of the match. So just stupid, really. I mean, the Big Show should have been eliminated first. And I guess we'll segue to the Big Show, who had another absolutely pointless heel turn for the 25th time he's turned heel or something. I have no idea. It's just Just stupid. I mean, and now he's coming out on Raw saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just thought I was going to lose my job, and I didn't want to lose my job again. I got a family to support." Like, come on. Really? And then we had Eric Rowan to come after the Big Show, so I kind of do like that in the end. I guess that was a way to give Rowan a bit of a feud heading towards the future. So if that's the case, and they're going to have Rowan destroy the Big Show, then maybe I can live with it. But on the Survivor Series match, it was just kind of dumb. But, you know, whatever. And Dolph Ziggler's performance was epic. 3-on-1, that was awesome. You know, it was great to see Ziggler get the moment. It was great to see Ziggler finally be looked as though as he's going to be a top guy, and he was on the main event of Raw again this week, so it's good to see him getting elevated. I guess him losing the IC title after all wasn't a bad thing. It was a way of, I guess, him dropping the belt and then getting elevated up to the top of the card. And if they are going to start pushing him legitimately as a main event guy, then I think that's a good move. He's 34 years old, he's in his prime, so I think it's now or never with Ziggler. If you don't push him now to the top, I don't think he'll ever be a main event guy. So it worked with Bryan, and honestly, I'd rather probably watch Dolph Ziggler than Bryan. I think Dolph Ziggler's got a better overall package, as we saw with Daniel Bryan's promo tonight, which absolutely stunk the joint up. Oh, boring. I think Ziggler's got a better promo. Bryan probably better in the ring, but Ziggler can sell and sell and sell, and he has that great comeback in him like we saw at Survivor Series. So I really did enjoy Ziggler's performance. I thought he stole the show that night, and I was happy to see him get that opportunity, and I was surprised that Cena actually laid down that early in the match and let Ziggler have that moment, because I think it wouldn't have happened. I mean, the crowd would have been booing and been so predictable that Cena was going to make the comeback. But with Ziggler, I was on the edge of my seat. I was going, wow, is Ziggler going to do it? Come on, come on. I was cheering for Ziggler. I was actually pumped. I was excited. I really wanted to see him come out. And then a man called Sting made his first WWE appearance, finally. And I just, you know, I went out. I went crazy, man. I saw the rumors. I heard about the rumors. I didn't want to read about them, but people were telling me on my forum about it, so I got spoiled. I managed to avoid them for a while, but eventually they got around. That's what you get for being on the internet. And I just didn't believe it. I thought, no way. Why would Sting appear on Survivor Series? Really? Like, what's the point of it? He came out, he took out Triple H, and that stare down, that confrontation between those two was just absolutely awesome. Great moment. And the main event was the only redeeming value about the show. I thought the rest of the card, besides Ambrose and Wyatt, was absolutely fucking awful. Just dreadful. So I give it about a 4.5 out of 10. I mean, the only points it gets is from that main event, and the rest of the card, honestly, it was such a pain to watch. And thank God I missed the pre-show, but they showed me the highlights. Don't worry about that. I saw the highlights, which was bad enough, and it was just dreadful. It was just hard to watch until the final hour, which was actually half decent. So, not really impressed, but the pay-per-view left a good taste in my mouth. Let's just say that. This one is from Griff. What impact will Sting have in the WWE now that he's helped get rid of the Authority? Well, I originally thought Sting would become the GM, but it doesn't seem they're going to go that angle. It looks as though they're going with the fucking, the anonymous GM angle again. I'll get into that in a moment, but I guess Sting probably won't appear again for a while. I figure that the Authority or Triple H will want to get his revenge against Sting, so Triple H will come back and be involved in some capacity and try and, you know, challenge Sting, and I don't know, something like that. But I think Sting won't appear for a while. Maybe he'll be on next week to, you know, talk about his actions. I think he needs to appear very soon to keep the momentum going, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's got to happen, and I think Sting will just come back. I'd like to see Sting take on Triple H, and I would like to see Sting take on The Undertaker. If he takes on those two and gets a Hall of Fame induction, great send-off, great comeback, great run. Don't overdo it. I don't think it would make any sense for him to take on any current era guys, because let's be honest, when Sting was wrestling, these guys were still running around in diapers. So there's no point in Sting coming back and taking on a Seth Rollins or a Dean Ambrose. It just makes no sense. At least he's going to take on The Undertaker and Triple H, who were in their prime, or, you know, were wrestling at least while Sting was still going around. So I'd rather see Sting take on somebody from his own era, let's just say that, rather than a new guy, because it just really makes no sense. And I really hope it's not going to be Sting versus Cena. I think Sting and Triple H at Royal Rumble and Sting and The Undertaker at WrestleMania would be fantastic. If we can only get Sting and Triple H at WrestleMania, then sure, I'll take that. So as long as Sting gets a match and gets a great send-off, and a big win, I think, that'd be great to see. This one is from Monda. Who would you like to see be an interim GM for Raw next week? Honestly, this stupid GM angle. Anonymous GM. I think the anonymous GM is the authority. I think it's Triple H and Stephanie working at their quote-unquote desk job and still running Raw through the laptop, through the emails, through the anonymous GM thing. Anyone thinking it's going to be Hornswoggle running the Raw again, that's just ridiculous. They did that angle as a joke to the anonymous GM. It was never really Hornswoggle. They just kind of played it off to give that storyline some kind of continuity and some kind of ending to it. I don't think they ever really intended on bringing it back, and I have no idea why they brought it back. In my opinion, I think this means that Michael Cole is probably going to turn heel as well, so it's just dreadful all around. I'm just not looking forward to it at all. I thought the anonymous GM angle was one of the worst angles they've done, and especially it went for so long, and we had all these guests. It's probably worse than the guest GM angle that they were doing, all the guest celebrity GMs. That was awful as well. I think they're just going to have one GM and just keep him as GM, or have no GM at all. So who's going to come back for a GM spot? I have no idea. I just think they're going to do this anonymous GM thing for a while until it ends up being the authority who's revealed to be the GM or whatever. So I don't know. But just get rid of this anonymous GM crap. It's awful. And the final question from Tasteful Chain. When do you think that Lucha Underground will have its first pay-per-view? Well, Lucha Underground is under the AAA promotion, so AAA already run, I guess, pay-per-views. They run Triple Mania. I don't really know any of their other pay-per-views, but I know that one. So they do run pay-per-views for AAA. I don't think they're going to do pay-per-views for Lucha Underground, so to say. I think Lucha Underground is just more of an episodic TV show. It's just going to be... Everything's just going to be done on the show. I don't think it's going to have any outside pay-per-views or big events to it. I think everything's just going to be in that one arena, just done there. They may have some specials and have some title matches on the show, but I don't think they're going to run pay-per-view, so to say. Which, I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know how to really tell you how Lucha Underground's going to end up right now, or the way it's going to be. I guess we just have to watch and find out, but I think it's just going to be more of a TV show feel to it right now, rather than, you know, a typical wrestling kind of show. Alright guys, that'll do it for today's Let's Talk Tuesday. Let me know what you guys think about everything I discussed in today's video in the comment section down below. Make sure you do leave a like as well and subscribe to see more Let's Talk Tuesdays and plenty of more WWE videos from me. As well as that, if you want to leave a question for next week's episode, please do so by leaving a comment in the comment section or by going to the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums, and going into the Let's Talk Tuesdays thread and leaving your question there. I will link that in the description down below for you guys. Make sure you do follow me on Twitter at BrendenPlayz, and you can always ask me questions there. I'm always responding. And as well as that, like me on Facebook as well. We need some more Facebook likes. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next video. Have a great day.